what's going on, Asgardians? We got another week of your favorite videos, and as we promised last time, we have the Women of Rock History. So we are going to be highlighting more videos that have female leads in their bands. Also, I want to introduce you to Miss Erika Gilchrist.
Hey, hey.
She is a traveling speaker.
Yeah, so the official title would be award-winning speaker and expo producer.
Okay, there you have it. We're going to be talking to her today about how to empower women in a man-filled music scene. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to kick this off real quick, though, with our first video from a Lost Asylum. They are kind of a goth type group. So we're going to kick it off with that first, and then we will come back and talk to Erika and start talking about women in rock and how we can help you boost yourself and promote yourself and just be more outgoing and doing things for yourself. And so don't let anybody tell you, this is what you need to do. This is how you do it, because you're you, and she's going to help us with that today. So we got the whole band together today, though. We got Z on the board. We got Julie on social media. You can talk to us, and yeah, we got the whole band together today. So we'll come right back. This is A Lost Asylum.
Signifies the beginning of
All right, we're back. Again, that was A Lost Asylum. And right now, we're going to talk to Erika a little bit. And I know we were just talking a little bit off there's about questions and stuff. And I don't think there's really any questions. I mean, we might be able to get into questions as we move along and how we progress through throughout the show. But what would you give, you know, just say an up-and-comer young lady who's like, you know what, I want to be a rock star. This is really, I mean, she's been thinking about it since she was 4 years old, and now she sees all these women, and a lot of them are kind of scantily clad, okay? And a lot of them do try and do the whole sex sells thing. But that's not, I mean, okay, it could work for them, which is fine, but what do you think would be more appropriate, you know, what would you tell this young lady, say now she's 12 or 13 and this is all she wants to do and she's been taking lessons and you know, and she was like, I want to start a band. What do you think, what would you tell her as a young lady growing up to get into this basically man-populated world of heavy metal?
Yeah, absolutely. So if she's 12 or 13 years old, one of the first things I'm going to do is start asking questions about things that she's experienced that made her feel good. Like when you go out to play, like what specifically is a thing that you really want to do? And I'm doing that because I want to first get her in the mindset of what she likes to do on her own terms. So we'll start there. So as, you know, she starts talking to me, well, you know, I really like it when I'm on the monkey bars and I'm climbing or what have you. Well, what did you really like about that? It was like, you know, I was climbing to the top. Okay. So now I have a little bit of insight into her psyche. So I'm just kind of positioning the conversation to let her know that as she enters the arena on a more professional level, do it on her terms, because her instinct is going to let her know when something's not right, and to pay attention to that. I would also talk to her about some of the people who look like her in the metal scene. Who do you like? So what do you like about them? What is it about them that you like? So it's a lot of questions in order to see exactly where she is. Now, if I start hearing answers like, yeah, but everybody likes that her skirt is short. So now that's a different conversation. Now notice, we're not even talking about like music specifically. We're talking about her mindset, and that's where it's going to go. Not just as a little girl, because it starts there, but even women in male-dominated industries. It has a lot to do with their mindset. And one of the biggest pieces of advice that I learned firsthand is that regardless of the industry, if it's male-dominated, you have to perform on your own terms. What is it that you do? You rock your shit, you rock it well, right? So that's how you lead. People are going to call you names anyway. Like, it does not matter. It really does not matter if you're good at it, if you suck at it, somebody's going to call you a name.
Yes.
So with that in mind, you may as well go ahead and rock your shit and be called names at the same time. So to start, that's where I would start if she was 12 or 13 years old, is to really get into her psyche and talk about where she is at that age and then guide her from there. Okay.
So now let's talk. Now she's 21. She's got a band, okay, and she's the lead, and the rest of the band is male. But like most bands that are making it with the female lead and the males, they're basically a family. And they don't care who the lead singer, they just want to go and play and, you know, get the crowd going. So now she's 21, and there's a reason I'm asking this, and I'll tell you here in a second. But now she's, you know, she's actually on stage, you know, and like you said, she's going to get called names regardless of who she is, where she comes from. She's going to get, you know, kind of degraded here and there because of her being female. And what would you explain to her on saying, you know, I mean, I could tell her, you know what, just ignore it. But coming from me, I'm just, you know, I'm a radio station guy. That's how I just promote myself. I'm just a radio station guy trying to help bands move forward. So that's why I think I kind of wanted you here to help me get these women to get that, you know, that gut instinct saying, you know what, I don't care what people say. You know, what would you tell, okay, now this 21-year-old who got these songs out and they're opening for major bands, but they're the very first band to open. So they're like first out of 6.
Right.
So now what would you tell her being at that stage?
At that stage, it's your artistry, so you can let your artistry speak for you.
Thank you.
So you can write lyrics that basically tells people, you know, I know you're going to call me names. I know you think I dress like a slut or however she dresses. It doesn't matter. And let the artistry speak her message. Also, if she's 21 years old and now she's actually in it, and she may have those feelings of self-doubt because it is a male-dominated industry. But I would also tell her it really simply, to be perfectly honest with you, I would say to her, all right, so what exactly is it that you want to convey when you're out there on that stage? What is it that you want? Not what people tell you sells. What is it that your gut tells you, this is how I want to be represented? And based on her answer, I'm going to say, well, that's the direction that you go into. That's where your authenticity is. That is your truth. And that's what's going to come across to people. What comes from the heart touches the heart, regardless if it's metal, rock, or R&B, it doesn't matter.
Right.
So I would say to her, you don't have to cater to what people tell you you should be. That's not where the magic happens. The magic happens is when you come into your own, and through your artistry, you tell people, this is who I am unapologetically. If you don't agree with it.
Right there, yeah.
The end, that's it, that's all. So it's really simple. It's a simple thing, but difficult to accomplish, if that makes sense.
Right, yes.
Yeah, so the concept is simple, but not as easy to execute.
Right. And the reason I'm asking is, the reason I brought this scenario up, because I don't know if you know, I know Z knows, the young lady in Jim Carrey's Grinch, Cindy Lou Who, is now a heavy metal rocker in The Pretty Reckless.
Okay.
And she's very sexual. She's very... this is me, this is my body, and I like it, I'm going to show it off. And she does in her videos. Not, I wouldn't say she's pornographic, but she's really on the cusp of. And that's why I'm, asking, because she kind of like came into her own and then ran with it. And she's really good. She's a great young lady.
Is she a great musician?
Yes,
Okay.
she can sing. She's very hardcore singer, but like I said, she was Cindy Lou Who in The Grinch, and now she's this powerful, touring, Pretty Reckless lead singer, and she is very, she's in your face.
Yeah.
She really is in your face, but her videos are pretty risque, and it's just, but that's why I was asking,
No, I
because that happened to her.
But from a psychological standpoint, if you're going from Cindy
Lou Who?
Cindy Lou Who.
Yeah.
And this is how people know you.
Yeah.
And you start coming into your own, and you may say, okay, that's not who I am right now, and I need to prove. Don't define me by who I used to be.
Right.
And I'm assuming that at that age, there wasn't a whole lot that she did to move herself forward. It was probably the family or the parents. I keep thinking about, is it Lindsay Lohan? Who was Hannah Montana? Was it Lindsay Lohan? Who was Hannah Montana? Yeah, her.
Achy Breaky Heart.
Cyrus's daughter.
Cyrus.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All of us. If you
Cyrus.
can see everybody in the room right now, we're all like,
Oh
Damn
my
it.
God.
I just want y'all to do it on screen. I didn't want to
He was just, he knew it. He was
Yeah,
just
he
waiting
was
to
just
see.
like-
Yeah, he was let him look like fools for a
This
minute.
is just good TV.
yeah, ass. So that is classic Z.
It is. Yes, it is.
So when Miley Cyrus, when I think about, and she went through hers publicly.
Oh,
like she
yes.
was Hannah Montana, and that's how everyone saw her. But as she got older and as she matured and she became a more sexual being, she didn't want to be seen as Miley Cyrus anymore. So there was this transition that happened, and unfortunately, when you're in the limelight, it happens publicly.
Yeah.
But with this person you're talking about, it could very well be the same type of trajectory. She was Cindy Lou Who? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Yes.
Damn it, why can't I remember that? So Cindy Lou Who, and now is this awesome artist, rocking sexuality. A lot of it could be because she was kind of held captive to this very pure, very innocent image. And I don't care who you are. You're not pure and innocent at all times. So there's certain aspects of you feel like get stifled. And now she has an opportunity to unleash it, if you will, and to just kind of put away that Cindy Lou Who image. So that could be it. Without talking to her, I don't know. But I do know that happens with a lot of people who are younger and there's an image versus when they get older.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how to handle what they're feeling as they get older.
We've seen it with the 70s and 80s
kids, children stars.
Yes.
Yeah, it happens. And from our perspective, looking at it, we're like, oh my God, they're unraveling. They're growing up, and what they're doing is defining who they are for themselves. That's what they're doing. And we've actually all gone through that type of a transition.
Yeah.
It's just we're not celebrities, and everybody don't get to see it.
Yeah.
Unless, you're an attention person and you put every damn thing you do on social media. Can y'all stop that, by the way?
Yeah, please.
Can y'all just, last week I had oatmeal and I don't like oatmeal no more. So this week I'm going to have grits. Can we stop that, please? Nobody need to know all that.
Yeah, we don't really care what you're eating. We really don't.
Yeah, Cheerios versus Honey Nut Cheerios. I don't care.
Yeah. Make me pick between two bands. Make me pick between two cereals. Tell me... this is my favorite one because it comes up at least 12 times a day. I'm depressed. Fill my feed with pictures positive. Of your eighth picture in your phone. How do you know?
No
me
cheating.
Sending my lady. Okay.
Yeah. Go get my phone. I ain't giving you shit. No.
Not a damn thing.
No, absolutely not. I'm telling all my friends, as soon as I die, delete everything.
Yeah.
Don't nobody need to know all that.
Yeah, like on what was that? Suicide Squad. He goes after you shoot him, go delete my history. Yeah,
that's right. Go delete my browsing history. Don't nobody need to know all that. So anyway, everybody goes through those transitions, but when you're in the limelight like that, it makes it so much more difficult, and it's not an easy transition. So sometimes it's a hard transition.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm not that anymore, and I'm going to be as polar opposite of that as I can possibly be.
But there's no real, like you said, there's no transition. It's just like they hit a wall, and then it's like a complete 180, and now it goes from innocence to totally not.
Yeah.
I mean, and some of it, as we've seen growing up with, the facts of life, the different strokes, kids, they burned out. They killed themselves basically because of, they got into drugs because they didn't want that image anymore. And unfortunately, it just, it happened to not turn out very well for them. And
life doesn't go in a straight line. So after, this particular phase of her life, she may get into a different arena and say, okay, so I've done the really, really sexy thing. I don't have to do that anymore. Now I'm this person, and that's fine. But as long as you're doing it on your own terms and not because you feel that you can't move forward without it.
Right.
That's the difference. Because I mean, if you're a woman or a man, it doesn't matter. If you're expressing yourself from your true, authentic self, I can't be mad at you, regardless of what that is.
Right.
Like some people judge strippers and porn stars or what have you. If that's serious, you like, look, I want to take my damn clothes off. That's who I am. Not because someone's pressuring me or anything like that. That's who you are. I'm not going to judge that.
And that's what I tell everybody. Always tells me, well, I really don't want to tell you this because I'm like, I'm not judging. I wouldn't. I'm the last person to judge anybody. Okay. I'm just, I always tell. I joke. I went 12 years of Catholic school. I went to Bishop Knoll, and I always say, I'm a good Catholic boy. Okay, no. But, no. But I just, it's just, you can't judge people by what they do. It's their choice. Just like everybody always asks me, like when I was in the Army and I went to Iraq and we were in the biggest battle since 73 Easting, or biggest battle since World War II. And they asked me, do you ever regret it? No, because that's what I wanted to do at the time. I wanted to join the Army. Yeah. I wanted to be in combat. I wanted to do this for my country. This is stuff I wanted to do. If I wanted, the only thing I kind of regret is not staying in. But then if I did stay in, I wouldn't have the family I have now. So I can't regret that. But so there is no regrets because everything I did at the time of me growing up to be 51 now is what I wanted to do.
That's right.
So there should be no regrets in life because that's how you get to where you are and what person you are. to me.
Yeah, the best life I've ever lived right now is because of all the shittiest things I've ever gone through. I'm seriously, like, I would not want to work with someone who's never been through shit. Like, I probably cannot communicate very well with them. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to take a break. We're going to play another video here now. This is another young lady. They came out of, I believe, let's see. They are called Groundbreaking Intergalactic Music Project, with massive riffs, harsh electronics, and compelling vocals through the spectrum of sci-fi horror movie. They are called Season of Ghosts, and they come out of a couple different countries. They're like out of Japan, out of Greece, and so. But this girl, she almost looks like she's 15, and she's just a young-looking lady, but she has a great voice, and I think you're going to enjoy this this video right now. This is Season of Ghosts. All right, we're back here, sitting with the lovely Erika here, talking about empowering women in the rock world. And I have another question about what do you, now you can see in front of us we have a young lady, her name's Emily. The band is September Morning, and we have her collection of books here. And what she does is she writes comics, and it's what she does is she's fighting evil people so the good people can stay good and they don't change or whatever. And then she brings it on stage and brings it like alive and everything. Now, it's a concept, obviously. Look, it's a concept. Stage performance. What would you, if it's like I said before, you know, women see all this, these young ladies see, you know, her doing that, and then there's, and that Gabriel in the Apocalypse, she changes her look every year, and just the different ones. If somebody wanted to do a concept or dress up in a different way than other people, do you think to me, would you think they're trying to hide who they are, maybe hide something and tell their story, their life story in music, or what would you?
You know what? It could be they're revealing a part of them that doesn't have a chance to be out any other way. I mean, if you think about it, those who have, I don't even want to say regular jobs, just jobs in general. There's just certain things you're not going to do at that job, but it's still a part of you. So dressing up in costume and all of that. It could be not necessarily trying to hide anything, but maybe the opposite, trying to bring out an aspect of them that they feel like is hidden. And it could also be speaking to other people who feel that the real them is hidden. And here's another way you can bring that person out. Because if you go through a 10-year timeline of all my photos, it's just like, okay, who is this? I'm like, that's me. Really? Like, so there's just aspects of you sometimes that you want to put on Front Street. And I want to say hey to everybody who's watching. I know we got Jasper, Melissa, Stephanie, Dee Dee. If you're here, say hello. Let us know that let us know that you're here. So because I like to engage with you all. Yeah,
if you guys got any questions, if you guys have anything you want to say to Erika or myself, well, if you would have said it to me, you would have said it to me a few shows ago, but it'd probably be to Erika now. But if you got a question for Erika, please, by all means, you know, send it over to us. Let us know. I'm sure she'll be able to answer it for you because this is what she does. She travels and she talks and she empowers people. That's what
not lately.
Not lately. No, not lately. She's
I travel to the grocery store now. So in the gas station.
That's it.
So
that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, like us, they closed our gym down, so we can't even go to the gym
you can't
anymore.
even. Yeah, so
you can't do nothing.
In the living room, trying to do burpees, knocking shit over. Yeah. Right. Head hitting the ceiling. It's like, oh, that's right, low basement. So so you all let us know. Let us know where you are.
Ask anything. We don't care. You know, we're just here for your entertainment.
And I had a chance to see all of the videos that we're playing, and I know which ones that I like. I'm curious to know, like, the ones that you really dig, and let us know that too, because we want to give those bands that feedback too. So
absolutely, we always want to tell the bands. We always want to let every band know that, hey, we played your song this week, and this is the reaction we got from it. So yeah, let us know. Tell us anything. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, what you think they could have did, just anything like that. Just let us know. So, but we'll hit this this next video for Diamante, and she actually did a duet with Tommy from Bad Wolves, and she is, it says here, in Spanish, Diamante means diamond. Her middle name is Azzurra, which is blue. In Italian, she explains, if I was a color, I would be blue. I love it because it's bold, ethereal, okay, and everything I am. Italian dad, Mexican mom in a Boston suburb. I had a chance to talk to her. I didn't get a chance to interview her, but she is a incredibly great woman, and I believe with her, when she goes on tour again after all this craptastic stuff that's going on right now, she's going to be even bigger than she was before that. So we're going to go ahead and play some Diamante and think of some questions for Erika, or give us some feedback and let us know. All right, Z, go ahead. Hit it with them.
Just to get running, I've had enough, had enough, had enough, had enough, yeah. 'Cause I've had enough. I think I'm reaching the limit. You should keep your distance. 'Cause I've had enough. Take a deep breath and count to 3, and then I'll be behaving. Just to get running, I've had enough, had enough, had enough, had enough, yeah. 'Cause I've had enough. I think I'm reaching the limit. You should keep your distance. 'Cause I've had enough. I guess it could be me, quite possibly. I might be scared or insecure. I have been here before, the blame ain't yours. But the fate on my head's a chance to get running. Had enough, yeah. 'Cause I've had enough. I think I'm reaching the limit. You should keep your distance. 'Cause I've had enough.
All right, that was Diamante. Now the next video we're going to talk about a little bit is Mechanism. And can you hand me one of those coffees over there, please? And we met this young lady in Virginia, and this is she's a shaman, and this is her shaman blend. Wake up soul, sensation, dark berry, savory earth notes with a chocolate finish, and make you have a great fucking day. That's awesome. But yeah, like we were talking off camera, she takes the best and the worst beans and puts them together. She does a ritual over them, and it's, you know, to bring them together. And she's just a very this is a strong woman. This is somebody that is, you know, she knows who she is, and this is what, you know, this is take it or leave it right here.
And see, you know what this says to me, and this is a really good example of anyone who's in this industry. One of the things that's most important for women in male-dominated industries is to have female role models in those positions who are really strong. Because if you don't have anyone you can talk to or who can mentor you, you're kind of sometimes the phrase learned helplessness.
Yes.
You know, if you have a strong female role model that you can bounce things off of, and someone who can kind of give you a shot in the arm when you need it, it makes all the difference in the world. And women's empowerment contrary to what a lot of people think, is still an inclusive movement, not an exclusive movement. So there is a role that men play in women's empowerment. You were talking about female leads that have an all male other than her.
Right.
And you know, if you're a male and you see another male disrespecting a woman and you don't say anything, that contributes to the disrespect of women overall, because they feel like they can get away with it.
Right.
You know, I have 6 sisters and 4 brothers, and I'd be damned if anybody, male or female, is going to approach me in a disrespectful manner without one of my brothers stepping in and like, you don't want this problem. So, you know, it's an inclusive movement, and having someone like this as a role model, and that's in any industry, having a female role model is so important, and having it regularly. There are groups that these ladies can form on like meetup.com. Sounds like a dating site, but it's not. Like the first time I said that, they're like, but I'm not looking for nobody. I'm like, that's not what it is. So meetup.com is basically special interest groups. You're into a very specific thing, and you meet with other people who are into that very specific thing. So there can be women in metal meetup group, you know, and it goes by geographical location. So there actually might already be one. So look that up, meetup.com, and then women in rock, women in metal, or whatever the case may be. So having that on a regular basis really does make a difference.
And do you find, and I know this happens in like the business world, and it could happen, I know it does in some instances, but not many, because the music scene is more of a family-oriented thing. I mean, we're all, you know, in this together. We're, you know, especially because they know I'm trying to help them. So they usually know that, you know, when they're talking to me, they can just talk. You know, we don't have to talk music. We can talk about whatever you want. You know, usually it comes to that. But I know in businesses and other industries, you get women that, okay, they're new to this and they want to go to this woman, but she is so into herself and wanting to climb that ladder because she's that woman that is just, I'm just going to step on whoever I can to get it forward, and I'm not helping anybody else. How do you approach a young lady like that, trying to get ahead, but everybody, even the women, keep pushing her back down?
So you have to learn how to define things for yourself. One of the things I love about the way music, and it's a double-edged sword, I get it, for musicians. They're like, well, the internet kind of took our money away. The opposite end of that is that it also kind of thrust other up-and-coming musicians into the forefront. So if you are approaching someone who's all out for themselves, like they don't want to help, if it don't help me, I'm not going to help you. At that point, you kind of create your own platform. And what's going to happen is that people are going to start coming to you for stuff. Just don't be, I was about to start cursing. Don't be that motherfucker you just went to try to get help. Like, don't turn into that person. So you create your own platform, and you go to places like meetup.com and you find those other mentors. But if you run into someone who is seriously just out for self, they don't want to help anybody, I personally use that as fuel for myself, because that's my personality. As I was building my business, there were some people who would say to me, well, you know, I'll help you for $10,000. And I'm like, if I had $10,000, I wouldn't need your damn help. How about that?
Really?
And so I decided to create the space that I needed when I was building my business. And that in turn got me so much more help from people who were already in the industry. So you kind of have to create your own platform for that.
Yeah, I mean, Z knows who I'm talking about. I'm not going to mention any names, but there is a woman out there that is in the rock scene that is so narcissistic, it literally makes you sick. When she's on stage, when they go on stage for a headlining, nobody else that was there can have merch out. Nobody.
I know who you're talking about.
Oh, do you? Okay. Okay. Yeah, and when they're doing sound check, you can't make a noise. You can't even whisper to each other, you know? And you're like, you know what? You made it. Let these people, you know, like there's a band called Dowskin. They're 5 girls Well, the first time I met them, they opened up for this particular person, and they're just great kids. I mean, and they're phenomenal on stage. And the oldest one at the time was 20. It was 20 to 16. And it's been a couple years, so, you know, they're a little older now, but they were just really good. And I felt so bad because they had to open for her, you know, and they were just, they were overtaken by somebody who was just, that should be helping these kids, not hindering and not holding them back, you know, and that's why I asked, because you do get those.
Yeah.
You know, this
and
is my stage.
The contrast, though, is those young ladies who opened for this artist. It's not going to be just that artist they open for. They're going to open for other ones, and they're going to see a contrast. What happens with really narcissistic people, eventually they're going to get exactly what they want, which is, they don't realize it, but if you're narcissistic and it's all about you, it's just going to end up being you.
Yeah.
In the end, and that's it. And then get pissed off because nobody wants to help you because you're so great, but you're not.
Yeah.
You're not.
And him and I were talking, Z and I were talking last time, and we haven't heard anything from them in the last probably 3 years since she went on her little rant, and because nobody wants to work with her.
Yeah. I mean, eventually you're going to run out of people who want to deal with you. Eventually you run out.
Yeah.
And your reputation is going to enter the room before you do. And people talk. I mean, the music industry is big and really small. People talk. And if you come in and prove it right, then it's like, okay, tonight you're here. Your ass ain't never coming back here again. And eventually you just run out. And I let people be exactly who they are because it's going to lead them exactly where it's going to lead them. And fortunately, and I revel in this. Some people say, well, it's not good to do that. I'm like, fuck you. I'm not that damn humble. So people who I have reached out to try and help me, who have done things like that, are now in my inbox. And Z knows who I'm talking about, are in my inbox. Say, hey, listen, can you help me with? And I'm like, oh. First of all. So, and not many people get that opportunity. So when that opportunity presented itself, I'm like, oh my goodness, I had to stretch first.
Yeah.
I'm about to let your ass have it. So,
Let me get up. Let me get these hamstrings going.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I might have a couple of glasses of wine, so I'm not politically correct. So when I want to say fuck you, I actually say it.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, I dismiss your, no, I wanted to say this.
Yeah, you can kiss my ass. I've had people who have screwed me over. I had 3 DJs quit on me in the same week, and then 2 months later they had their own radio station. And they didn't tell me. They didn't say anything. And about 6-7 months after that, I get an email. Hey, can you get me so-and-so's contact so we can go? And I was like, you.
Right. It's like,
this is going to be good.
This is going to be sweet. Yeah.
Motherfucker, look. Do you remember?
Let me take you back to Wednesday.
Yeah,
March 8th, 2014.
Yeah, that week that you 3. So in short, no. So, but I've had that. I've literally had people screw me over and then come back say, hey,
can you help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I've had people I've met people. We really want to work for Asgard. We really want to do this, and then they come in and then they see it's a job. This is something I'm not playing.
Yeah, you gotta work.
Yes, it's something that, okay, you're gonna be here, you're gonna be there. If you're gonna interview, you're gonna interview. And we have deadlines because I gotta get this stuff out because they're promoters, they're managers, the bands, they want to see all this stuff. And
you make it look easy. And when you make it look easy, everybody thinks they can do it. They're like, I can do that.
Yeah.
Step your ass into the ring. Step into the ring. No, I invite people to step into the world of entrepreneurship. I can do what you do. Anybody can just get up and speak. Okay. Well, if anybody can do it, then do it.
Yeah, then do it.
By all means. And there you go. Let me see what you're working with.
Yeah.
Because it is not easy.
No.
There's work you have to put into this. And even when you're not on camera, you're still working. When you're eating dinner, you're still working.
You're
'cause
always
still
thinking.
about it.
Yes.
Before you go to sleep, you're just like, okay, I got to send out that email. I got to contact this. Mm-hmm. You're always working. In your dreams, you're working, dreaming about your work. So it's an ongoing process. And when you make it look easy, people think that they can do it. And I extend an open invitation for anybody who think they can step into the ring and do it. Yep.
We went to cover Sebastian Bach one for his 30-year anniversary of their first album from Skid Row, and it was so hot in there. I mean, the bass player and the guitar player were almost down to their underwear because everybody was sweating. It was just horribly hot there. So we came home, and the next morning I said, you know what we need? I said, we need towels. We need towels to give to the bands so when they go on stage. So can you grab a couple? So I called my merch guy and I said, I want orange towels and we're going to go ahead and call them stage towels.
Stage towels.
And we got them stage towels. There's our stage towels that we give out to the bands.
Stage towels. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Stage towels.
And every time we give, I mean, there's a bunch of bands that have them now. They're like, oh my God, this is a great fucking idea.
Yeah.
Why hasn't anybody come up with it? I said, because no one's as smart as me.
And there it is.
Exactly. But it was just, like you said, you're always thinking. Always
You're
thinking.
always thinking.
And I woke up and I'm like, we need stage towels. This is what we need. So, but all right, well, we're going to go ahead and do another video. This is Mechanism. And like I said, she is a shaman. This is her coffee. I'm sure you can get it on her Facebook or find it on her website. But, excuse me. But go ahead and check her out. Tell her you saw him right here on Asgard. And we'll be right back to talk to Erika a little bit more.
Wait
All right, we are back. So let's talk to Erika. Let's ask you some questions about how you got your start. Where did, you said, okay, you went through a lot of shit. And,
Right.
and I can, south side of Chicago, I get it. I grew up in Whiting, so I was right across the border there.
Yep.
Where did this come from for you to start, what was in your head growing up thinking, I'm going to make women feel better about themselves. We're going to empower them. How did this all start for you?
So I've always been on stage. So at the age of 5, I got into the performing arts, and I was the kid in school who got in trouble for talking too much. So like, seriously, they were just like, "E, shut up." And so I was always running my mouth. I was always on stage. So combining the two just made sense. And with everything that has happened in my life, childhood sexual molestation, homelessness, domestic abuse, suicide attempts, with all of that stuff, people would come to me and ask me, to help them. I didn't even know at the time there was a such thing as coaching or anything like that.
Right.
I didn't know that. So to answer your question directly, how it came about, it just came about in waves. It was like, so Erika's always on stage. Erika talks a lot. Erika is the go-to person if you need some help. So all of those things just kind of came together right around my early 20s. And 22 years later, I'm still on stage. I'm still talking a lot. And I still have my message. So the decision came to actually make it a profession is when a church had actually asked me to speak. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I'll speak just because, I like to run my mouth and you giving me an audience. I'm in. So it was just a little rinky-dink church, and we went in the basement with the ceiling low, and they gave me a plate of chicken and some mashed potatoes. And, I spoke, and they gave me a check for $250.
Really?
And I went, oh, shit, you can get paid for this? Oh, it's on. Yeah. Let me see how I can hone this. So I went to monster.com and I'm trying to find different ways to make money in speaking. And I got an independent contractor position with monster.com.
Really?
To travel and talk to high school students. And then that program evolved. And as that program evolved, they always brought me in. And I think the defining moment for me, though, when I branched out on my own for good, is I went to Mississippi to talk to the Mississippi Job Corps, and my contact person, that poor man, he buried his mother the day before. So he was just all over the place, and he was just like, "Oh my God, I forgot you were coming. Let me set up the room." I said, "Nope, don't do it. I got it, no problem." And then he goes, "Oh wait, the check, I forgot to give you the check." So the check normally goes to the training company, not the speakers.
Okay.
But in his mindset, I'm like, "No problem. I'll get the check and I'll make sure they get it." He hands me this check. And this check, I'm quick on my feet when it comes to my money. And I looked at this check and I was like, I'm getting paid less than 10% of what the company was getting to send me in. Oh. And I went, "Oh, you done started something." You done started. I was an independent contractor for a training company. They sent me in. I saw how much they were getting paid, and it was my original content. I'm the one developing the relationships. I'm the one that's doing the traveling. I said, "Yep."
So you're doing all the legwork, and they get paid.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have a lot of overhead. There's a building and, like 80 employees and all of that. So I get the overhead, but no.
No.
No, how about I get that 4-figure check all by myself?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was a lot of work. So that was a very long answer. I told you I talk a lot.
No, that's
to
okay.
your question. How
that's
it all
fine.
came about. So, and some people think that being on stage, they're like, "Oh, I wish I could do that." And because I do public speaking coaching, and one of the things they try and do is be like me, and that's the worst thing you can do.
Yeah.
Whether you're speaking, whether you're, hosting a show, is to try and mimic what someone else is doing, because it just comes across really inauthentic, and it's just not a good place to be.
Yeah.
You got to find your own thing.
Yeah, and like you said, with all the stuff that you went through, it's different than other people go through. So they can't be you.
Exactly.
Because
and I
they
can't
don't.
be them.
Yeah, and it's just like training. Like when Julie and I go to the gym, we can't train the same. Not just being female and male, but it's we're different.
Yeah.
You know, we have different
Strengths,
goals,
you have
different things.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, and different strengths and weaknesses. And like, I don't do cardio ever. I don't run. You know, yeah, I'm 51. I don't run.
I ain't
You know,
running
I
shit.
ain't running nothing. Okay, but she does a lot of cardio, and then she does her weights, and then she'll do more cardio. Where I go in and I do warm up with weights, and then I hit the weights, and I'm, you know, do what I do, and then I'm done. But yeah, you're right. You can't be now. Have you always been open, or with all your
No,
issues?
absolutely
How
not.